Hopefully everything's going okay. Alright, guys. It took me a while to get the broadcast up and going. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's my internet connection or not. Hopefully this broadcast doesn't get interrupted or anything like that, or I lose connection for some reason. But anyway, picking it back up, welcome back to the Seattle Seahawks rebuild in Madden 24. It's your boy Malin back here with another episode of that. This is part 4. Now, I wanted to show you guys some stuff that I've been doing off camera in terms of adjusting the team. First of all, I want to make sure that I have the title right. It's the, it should be the 2026 season, I would have to imagine. Just want to make sure that I have the settings right, you know, in terms of that. Let me see. Manage team success. Let me just go to that. I'll just tell you what it is. Surprised they don't say that. All right. We are the 2026 season. Okay. So, last episode, we had, once again, a return trip to the postseason, I'm pretty sure. It's been a while, but one thing I will say, during the last live stream at the end, I was trying to do some trades to get this team better. And I managed to do some moves. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the transaction section to show you guys the work that I've been putting in with the very beginning of the preseason. So, we made a trade and we got a quarterback. I went ahead and, found a way to trade for Jared Goff. Now, Goff was a member of the Carolina Panthers, so what I had to do is I had to give them one of our best corners, I had to give them our starting right tackle, and a first-round pick. So, that is a lot that I had to do just to get a 81 overall quarterback. The only thing that worries me just a little bit in doing this is that Jared Goff is not a scheme-fit quarterback, number one, and number two, we're not going to have a first-round pick in the draft this year where we could get a quarterback to help us out if the Goff experiment doesn't work. But I just feel like that we need to get a good veteran quarterback to lead this team. But we did manage to make a trade for DJ Turner in order to replace Witherspoon. So we traded for him, and we traded Drake May to the Bengals because basically with us getting Goff, I don't feel like there's a need for us to keep Drake May on the roster, so we're going to let him go somewhere else. Now, listen, we can always draft another rookie quarterback and keep working on this if things continue to get pretty hairy. But we also made another upgrade on offense. We traded for Hunter Henry, the tight end from the Patriots, to get some help at tight end. Get a real starting tight end. Disley has been okay, but I wanted to go out and get somebody with credentials, so I went out and got Hunter Henry, and it only cost us getting rid of Zach Charbonnet and KT Levinston. And Levinston, is a guy we drafted, and, in these rebuilds, I'm loyal to guys that I draft to a fault. But Levinston really hasn't developed much at all, and he's basically right now, based on what we've done with him, he's set to be a career backup in the National Football League. So I feel like Levinston was just wasting away time on our roster, so I traded him and Zach Charbonnet to the Patriots to get Hunter Henry. Now I'll show you the full roster and let you guys take a look at this roster going in to the 4th season of this rebuild. And something tells me that, this is going to be a pretty interesting season because the roster's looking a lot different. This is the craziest the roster's looked, the most turnover we've had. We did draft Cade Klubnik out of Clemson as well. I went ahead and drafted him even when Drake May was still on the roster, just with the intention to possibly trade May in order to help get a veteran quarterback. Now, unfortunately, I had to trade, Drake May to the Bengals, so that way, basically, we could get a decent corner to replace Witherspoon, is what I did. So Jared Goff is our starter. Klubnik is our backup. Now, Klubnik is option B if Jared Goff just doesn't play well this season for whatever reason, if he doesn't play well. And Timmy Knox is a guy that we drafted a couple years ago, 59 overall, not going to get much better than that. Now, Kenneth Walker looks like he's become the superstar player of our offense, along with DK Metcalf. I'm really surprised that Walker has developed as well as he has to a 96 overall running back. So right now we have a bona fide starter at running back that's very good. Now, with us trading away Charbonnet, it's Blake Corum's time to shine as the secondary running back. We also, of course, still have Kenny McIntosh, and Carlos Madison is a guy that we had from last year. Will Hillman was a guy that we drafted this year as a new fullback. I know that, a 71 overall fullback is not that much to get excited about, but hey, we needed a fullback, and we're not in salary cap hell, but we don't have as much money to spend as we possibly could. DK Metcalf is still here. Smith-Njigba is still here. Danny Gray's here. Our receiving core is basically the same outside of Leslie and McMillan. And McMillan, I was really hoping he would develop more by this point out of Arizona, but it just seems like, our Leslie, but, he's still got a little bit of growing up to do, if you ask me. So our receiving core is pretty much the same as last year. Hunter Henry, of course, our new starting tight end. Troutman is a guy that we brought in last year, but a 79 overall tight end, just in my opinion, is not going to do it justice in order to get some real help. Now, that means that Stover has now been demoted to third string. But, then again, I got to see something in order for me to, trust in the guy. Zach Tom is one of the free agent acquisitions that we've got. Dwight Bowen is the guy that we drafted last year, so he's going to back him up. Bradford is still here. Kendrick Green is the guy we signed to back him up. We still have O'Neal here, and we got Jeremy James. Drake Nugent, drafted a couple years ago. Hopefully he can get higher rated. Offensive line is still pretty solid. And because we traded away our starting right tackle, we're putting Jonah in there, and we're just going to see what he can do. I think it's time for him to make his move. Defensive line could be a little bit better, but I still like Franklin Myers at 77. We couldn't do much better than him in free agency, and Jahad Campbell is a guy that we drafted out of Alabama this year, so we're going to put him in as the starter. Defensive tackles, got B.J. Hill, we got Daniel Strong, Sutton, Young, and Friedman. So that's our defensive line. Linebacking core is looking a little bit better. Mayfield is up to an 81. We've got Holcomb, who we signed in the offseason, who's an 81 overall middle linebacker. And Nwosu is 78 overall. Hopefully he can get up to the 80s during the season. So obviously we traded for DJ Turner as our number one corner. We still have, and we also traded for Jalen Watson as well. I forgot where we acquired him from. But, yeah, our cornerback room is looking totally different now. DJ Turner and Jalen Watson are our new starters. Nehemiah Pritchett is still here. We're going to let him get reps as the third corner, and hopefully he can develop a little bit. And we got a lot of young corners behind them. So hopefully, we're just getting a little bit younger. Hopefully this works. And you got Hatcher, of course, backing up. Diggs, who's still here. And, of course, we got Jamal Adams. But we did sign Taylor Rapp to be a backup to him. So yeah. And our punter and kicker are still the same. But the biggest deal is that we got a quarterback who's been in the league, who's played in the NFC West as a member of the Rams. So hopefully with getting Jared Goff in here, we can finally solve our, floundering quarterback situation, and we can get a little bit better on that side of the ball. As you see, our offense is 84, defense is 77. We are still kind of a middle-of-the-road team, but what I'm hoping for is that with Jared Goff coming in, that our offense can be a little bit more dynamic and has more experience to be a little bit better come the playoffs. Because so far in the playoffs, we haven't been able to do anything. All right. Because Geno Smith was in there, and he couldn't really do very much, so I just figured it's time to get another quarterback. And Klubnik is the backup plan right now. Hopefully, Klubnik can learn behind Jared Goff at least a little bit, and if we need to go with him, we will. So we lost our first preseason game, and we got to play the Colts this week. We'll get through that. And I'm really trying to make sure that I get the right draft class in here, because the last couple of times in this rebuild, I put the wrong years for the draft class in here outside of the first year. So hopefully I can take my time with that and not rush this, because I feel like I've done that, the last couple of times through this. All right. And it looks like we won our second preseason game against the Colts, and now we've got the Patriots on deck to wrap up the preseason. Obviously, there's no quarterback controversy for this year. Jared Goff is going to be our starter. I'm just hoping that by trading away some picks, but we've also acquired players through these trades this year, it doesn't come back to bite us in terms of ruining the future of this team. But we will see. All right, so let me see if I can maybe use some upgrades for Kevin O'Connell. If I can't, nope. I guess it may just have to be our offensive coordinator. What about our defensive coordinator? 24. What about player personnel? All right, we can do it here. Let's do it there. Okay. Keep forgetting about the player personnel trees as well. You know, that can be another method of upgrading our coaching staff. All right. And as far as the head coach, I'm probably going to keep Kevin O'Connell in there for this year and maybe next season if we want to go in a different direction with the quarterback situation, but we will see. My goal is to keep Jared Goff in there as our main starter quarterback. And we also won our final preseason game by 18 points. So it looks like our offense is better with Goff in there at quarterback, at least during the preseason. And hopefully, we've gotten, Kate Klubnik's gotten some good reps in order if we have injuries, because that does happen. So, Madison is just a guy that I'm just going to straight up cut because we have 3 running backs. We don't have room for him. We got to cut, 8 more players. I want to keep our receiving core the same. I don't want to cut any of those guys. Offensive line doesn't have a whole lot of depth. Well, at left guard we do. So Jeremy James, I'm going to risk putting him on practice squad. I'm going to do the same. Can I cut O'Neal? No, it'll incur a penalty. Okay, so I don't want to do that. What about right guard? Nope, we don't have more than 3 guys there. Okay, then. Alrighty. Got a lot of defensive tackles. I'm just going to cut Friedman. And Cameron Young. About linebackers. About corners. We got a lot of corners. I know we got a lot of extra corners. I'm going to put Williams on practice squad. And I'm going to cut Enos Rackshaw Jr. He's got a good name, but yeah. And Matt Fitzsimmons, I'm actually going to move him to practice squad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And, Von Byram is a guy that we drafted. So I'm going to move him to practice squad because I don't want to risk, losing him completely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And, you know what? I'm going to cut Lance Boykin. Okay, so now we got 5 corners. So I want to keep that intact for sure. Got a lot of extra safeties. Harris, we're cutting him, and that's it. All right, cool. Alrighty then. Didn't really put a lot of our rookies on practice. I don't want to do that normally. So let's go ahead and advance to next week. We'll choose the draft class, and we'll get the 2026 season started. So far, this is one of the rebuilds that's taken me a little bit longer than the other ones. It hasn't taken me the 3 years. I'm in the 4th year now. So obviously it may take me a little bit longer to complete this one. But you know what? I like a good extra challenge, and this Seattle team has been more of a challenge than I thought. I think it really just comes down to, a floundering quarterback situation, trying to determine what I want to do, and if I want a veteran to lead this team or if I want to have a rookie come in here and try to be the savior, if you will. All right. I actually don't know why I did that. Did I mess up? I auto-generated the draft class again. Oh, gosh, I don't know why I did keep doing that. Okay, all right, so we got another auto-generated draft class, so it is what it is. Okay, then, all right. So we're just going to roll with that. And let's go ahead and get ready for the season. And let's go ahead and simulate to the middle of the year and see where we are. We got an opening day game against the Eagles. This one should be a pretty tough matchup. We'll see what happens. Go to the middle of the season and see where this team is at. I'm hoping that Jared Goff is a solution. If he's not, then we're just going to have to regroup again. Keep figuring out a way to get this done. Because I've made the playoffs in the third. I think we missed the playoffs last year just on the outside looking in. Honestly, I can't remember. I know we made the playoffs one year. Geno Smith threw a bad interception and we lost. And I think that was last year. And decided to go in a different direction. 6, week 7. Should be checking to see where we're at right now. This is frustrating. 2-5 with Jared Goff as our new starter. Wow. Well, let's take a look at who's on the docket for renegotiations. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Yeah, we're going to keep you around. Excited to sign. Awesome. Wow, 2-5. Really? We're going to get a new punter. We're going to let Dixon walk. And you know what? B.J. Hill is, I think, somebody I want to bring back as well, even if it's on a one-year deal. Okay, he just wanted 1 year anyway, so that's fine. Franklin Myers, we got to upgrade the defensive end spot. And the same thing with right outside linebacker. Nwosu, we can do better than him. And you know what? Diggs is starting to regress a little bit, so maybe a new free safety is the way to go as well. I don't know if we're going to be able to do better than Bradford during this offseason. We're going to let Green walk. He was a backup anyway. We'll get a new kicker as well. And a lot of the rest of these guys are kind of backups. So, and after trading for Turner, I don't know if I want to just let him walk for nothing. So you know what? Let's try the neutral deal. Could find a better team in free agency. Okay, so he wants more than that. All right, we'll give him a player-friendly deal the next go around. Because obviously he's not happy about being here right now, so we got to offer him, quite a bit more money for him to stick around as our one of our starting corners. But we're 2-5 right now to start out the year, so we've started off the season pretty poorly. Now, we could always turn this around, but we got work to do. We're third place in the NFC West right now. Rams, Cardinals, 49ers are actually worse than us, so I'm a little bit surprised about that. But we got a tough matchup coming up against the Bills this week, so that will be fun. So we'll see. Man, trading for Jared Goff, I guess, didn't do anything to help this offense. Well, okay, we won our third game of the year. All right, so we beat the Bills, who are a winning team, so that's positive. All right, let's go ahead and upgrade some of our players. I guess we don't have any significant injuries, but could be wrong. And we're playing 5-2 Commanders this week. But first things first, let's get back to negotiating and make sure we lock in DJ Turner. All right, so let's give him a player-friendly deal. Let's see if this does it. You need to do more to convince me? Wow. Okay, this guy wants way more than that. Okay. Well, we'll keep at it with him because I'm not just going to take that standing down. And I think Bradford is worth bringing back because I don't know if we can do better than a 76 overall left guard in free agency, at least, outside of maybe the draft. But I don't know because this is an auto-generated class. You're under 500 right now. So, yes, we have to turn things around. We should be a playoff team. I mean, seriously. We upgraded our quarterback to an 81 overall Jared Goff, and we're 3-5. This is ridiculous. All right. So let's see if we can beat Washington. This would be an upset win because they're 5-2 right now, playing good football right now. I guess they found a solution at their quarterback position. So hopefully we don't, and we lost. Only by 3 points, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. All right, let's go ahead and upgrade some of our players. And we got a big matchup against the 6-3 Dallas Cowboys this week. I assume they got most of the same players, but I don't know. But still, we're playing a very good Cowboys team. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let's lock in Turner. Okay, so you didn't want a player-friendly deal that was like normal. Okay, so you want a very player-friendly deal. It's a 4-year freaking contract, dude. Okay, that's it. I'm not doing any more than that. You're out of your damn mind if you want more than that. A longer than 4-year deal. DJ, no. You're insane. That's too much for us. I hate to give up a guy that we traded for as a result of that we traded for the Bengals, and we just got rid of our a possible future starter at quarterback for this guy, and we're only going to get 1 year out of him, and we're playing bad football. That's frustrating, guys. That really is. Okay, all right. So is Bradford? Okay, so Bradford is available for negotiations right now. Let's see about this neutral deal. Offer's perfect. Okay, so Bradford's back on a 2-year deal. That's good. Was there anybody else after Bradford who I should maybe consider? Okay, well Green is a backup. We signed him in free agency, but it was for backup, so we're letting him go. Derek Hall's a backup, letting him go. All these guys are in the 70s, and they're pretty much all backups. So yeah, they can hit the road. God, maybe we'll just put DJ Turner on the franchise tag, but that's going to eat up so much. This is the most amount of cap room that I've seen available during the midway point of the season with $121 million. That's a lot of money that we could use to really upgrade this defense, entirely, and not keep spending so much money on, only a handful of our defensive players. Got to get this team better. All right, well, 6-3 Dallas Cowboys this week. This is going to be a tough game. I'm not expecting us to win this game. And Arizona doesn't look too bad. They're 4-4, but we play them next week. We just got a tough schedule this year. That's what I feel. And we get an upset win over the Cowboys? Wow, okay. That may be the kind of win we need to turn this season around, but we will see. And it looks like some of our guys got signed up by other practice squads. It is what it is. But what a big win. 30-24, we beat the Cowboys. That's got to be the upset of the year for us. I mean, we were 3-6, I think, going into that game. And, now we've got our biggest win of the season, no question about it. But we got the 5-4 Cardinals this week. They're currently leading the division. If we win this game, we could possibly launch ourselves back into kind of the consideration for a division title. But we can't go out there and lay an egg and expect to be in any conversation for winning the NFC West this year. We can't do that. And we lost. So we go back to, once again, being who we are, which is a team that offensively we can do some stuff, but defensively it looks like we just continue to struggle. And I know that we have some young guys starting on the defensive line. We really need to upgrade the defensive line. We got to get a really good pass rusher in there. We had that with Sweat in a trade, but we didn't have, but we've been in cap hell for a couple of years, so we've had to kind of just let players walk and just try to retool. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and we're at the bottom of the NFC West as a result of that loss. So I think that we've already in a way mathematically been eliminated from the playoffs. Man, bringing in Jared Goff it must have helped the offense at least a little bit, because we're scoring in the 20s and the 30s. So offensively, I think we're fine. But this defense is regressing. I've seen that, Quandre Diggs looks like he's regressed. I don't know if Jamal Adams is regressing or not. I mean, but Diggs' regression and, defensive tackles, we need, more help there. I know we're bringing back Hill, but he may not even be a starter next year, even at 77. We got some upgrades to do this offseason for real, including the draft. So, yeah. All right, 4-6 Rams this week. We're 4-7. This is basically a battle for third place in the division. The Cardinals are starting to run away with it at 6-4, so it'll take a miracle to catch those guys. And we get a win. All right. Good job. Looks like a bunch of our players are getting picked up by other teams from our practice squad, but it is what it is. And, given a contract extension to Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's been very good. And we got to show loyalty to the guy who's basically become our, second best receiver, in my opinion. So let's take a look at the playoff picture. We get a win against the Rams, but I don't think that really does anything for us. So, yeah, the way things are shaping out, there's only room for one NFC West team in the playoffs this year, and it's the team that wins the division, which may not be us. So that's the way that things are shaping up for year 4. We got to win the division, but we spanked the Rams. We beat them easily. We beat them by 28 points. So that's a pretty impressive win, if you ask me, in terms of taking down a quality divisional opponent. But the Cardinals also won. They are... they're 7-4 right now, so we gotta hope they lose a bunch. and we somehow win a bunch at the end of the season, but that's a tall order. But we'll see. All right. So we got a little bit of upgrades there to our player personnel. Spent some staff points on that. I don't think it's the coach. I think that our offense is good. Maybe we just need to move on to a new defensive coordinator, possibly. But we'll see about how stats look kind of towards the end of the year. Looks like rating-wise, defense is actually up to an 82. So some of our guys must be looking at least somewhat decent, at week 13 of the season. All right, so we just wrapped up our bye week. We are getting ready to play the Raiders. They're 9-3, so they have one of the best records in the league. And that's not very encouraging for a team that's floundering on possibly trying to fight for any breath they have left at a playoff spot. Let's see. Let's view the playoff picture here. The 49ers have actually climbed to being second in the West, but still, the only NFC West team in the playoff picture is Arizona. So looking like got to win the division in order to make the playoffs. Alrighty then. And defensively, we're still looking at a 79. So, yeah, I think maybe we need upgrades on defense, and maybe it's a new defensive coordinator. I'm not sure, but we'll decide that when we get to the offseason. Maybe we need to make a change in the coaching staff, get a new defensive coordinator in here. And we lost 56-21. Okay, we gave up 56 points to the Raiders. That's a little bit embarrassing, if you ask me. To give up that many points to a Raiders team like that's ridiculous. I think our defensive coordinator is going to have to be changed this offseason. We have no injuries either, so we don't have any serious injuries that are preventing us from possibly winning. I think that's another thing we got to do this offseason. We got to get a new defensive coordinator in here. I think our offense is fine. I mean, 21 points, compared to 56 is not that good, but I don't see a lot of games where we're just not scoring any points. Our offense, I think, is okay. I mean, we're an 85 offense. We got a 79 defense. It's the defense. Our defense is just not playing well this season, despite the fact that, we got a decent secondary. But then again, it's a brand new secondary with guys that we traded for. So, the chemistry is off balance a little bit. And as far as DJ Turner, I hate that we're only going to get one season out of this guy as our top corner, but he wants way too much money. He's going to eat up so much of the salary cap, and I'm trying to be a little bit better about this because when we started this franchise, the first off season, we had no money to spend. Guys like Diggs, Adams, they were taking up so much money that we couldn't do anything to upgrade the offense, and we couldn't do anything really to upgrade the defense. So now we're basically in the reverse world of this, where our defense is the one that really needs help. And our linebacking core, I think, is pretty solid, but defensive line, I think, is another area that we need to get some massive upgrades at. Because playing the young guys there, like the rookie, Jihad, he's just a rookie. He's learning as he goes. Okay, all right. Well, Week 15 against the Bears, they're 7-6, so they're kind of fighting for a playoff spot. I'm pretty much counting us out. I'll definitely play the last game of the regular season, which looks like it will be on the road against the New Orleans Saints. So I'll definitely be playing that game for sure. And we lost once again. We only lost by 2 points, though. So with scores like that, I think it's definitely our defense and possibly our defensive coordinator. And I'm not saying I blame everything entirely on him, but we need to get an upgraded defensive coordinator this offseason, if you ask me. I don't know who's going to be available, and are there going to be, auto-generated coordinators, but I think we need to upgrade that in the offseason because to score 35 points and lose the game by just 2 points because the defense gave up 37, that is concerning. And if I'd have to guess, our defensive rankings are probably towards the middle to the bottom of the NFL. Statistically, I want to see if maybe I can check that and see kind of what things are really looking like. So let me take a look at team stats. So, all right, so offense, defense. So the Chiefs have the number 1 defense. So our defense is actually not that terrible. We've surrendered a total of 4,470 yards, but how does that compare with the worst defense? So the worst defense in the NFL is the Titans. We are, let's see, let me count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have the ninth. We're ranked in like ninth best defense. All right, let's go by like total yards. Like let's sort it by that. So total yards. So yeah, so I guess maybe it's that. Okay, well looking at that, it must just be, well, what about offense? Let me look at the way our offense is doing. Okay, offensively, offensively we're pretty good too. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so our offense is actually ranked 12th, so our defense is actually doing better than our offense. Our offense is still scoring points, but I don't know. I think it may be coaching, but also I think it's a lack of talent that we have on the defensive line. It's not all over the defense, but it's mostly on the defensive line. We must be struggling to get pressure on the quarterback for sure. Let me take a look at maybe like pass rush or something like that. Okay, so let's take a look at team stats. Let's take a look at defense. Let's see, sacks. So let's sort by sacks. Lions have 45 sacks for the season. That is impressive. So we actually have 29 sacks for the season. We only have 8 interceptions. Okay, well, who has the most interceptions? So it looks like that we're not really creating a whole lot of turnovers. We only have 9 interceptions for the season, and it looks like we've only recovered 2 fumbles. We have 29 sacks. We've allowed 387 points. But I don't really think that... Who's surrendered the least amount of points? Okay, let's go by most. Who surrendered the most amount of points? So we actually have surrendered one of the most amount of points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. So we're 7th in terms of teams that have surrendered the most points in the league. Right now, through like week 13, I think. So I don't know. I'm a little bit torn, guys. But something tells... Or week 16. I still think it's coaching. I think we're definitely changing our defensive coordinator this offseason. I'd fire him right now, but they're just going to automatically hire somebody. So I'm just going to wait till the offseason when they fire everybody else and see who's available and see who we can get as our new defensive coordinator. Because honestly, I'm not worried about our offense I'm think our offense is actually keeping us in games this season. I mean, we're not one of the worst teams in the league. 5-9 is not super duper terrible. I'm pretty sure that we're not in line for the number 1 pick. I mean, we're not even the worst team in our division. So yeah. Let's take a look at the playoff picture, actually, because it looks like the Cardinals and the 49ers both have the same record. So how about that? I don't really think... Well, I think it's a little bit too little too late. Unlike us, the 49ers went on a little bit of a roll, and they've won their last 2 games in a row to order to get to like 8-6. So they've leapfrogged the Cardinals for the first spot in the NFC West. Those 2 teams would have to lose a bunch, and we would have to win the rest of our games in order to possibly make the playoffs. But that's a very long shot. And our divisional record this season hasn't been really great. So tiebreakers and all that would just, eliminate all of that. All right, well, let's play the 49ers this week, and let's see where we're at with 2 games left. No division opponents left after this game. So we can't really, control anything in the division by ourselves. But we get an upset win against the 49ers, and we won by 15 points. So that's a little bit surprising, but like I mentioned, going on a run like this, I think it's too little too late, but maybe we can get some momentum going into 2027. But at the same time, I mean, unless we have some crazy miracle, we're on the outside looking in terms of the playoffs. We're still 3rd in our division, And right now, the Cardinals are back in the driver's seat as the division-leading team, and the Giants are in the 7th seed. So with 2 weeks left, we're out of the playoff picture. There's no way we're making the playoffs. All right, we're playing the Broncos this week. They're 6-9 just like us. And we'll see what our record is going into the final game of the regular season against the New Orleans Saints. And we beat the Broncos. So we could finish the season with 8 wins, which would be encouraging. Unfortunately, we got a new injury. Somebody's going to be out for the Saints game, I have to guess. So Campbell, our rookie, tore his rotator cuff. And he is out for the rest of the season. Okay, well, we're going to put him on IR. And he's out for 18 weeks. That means that he's probably going to miss some of the off-season workouts as well. I don't know. Well, that means he definitely won't be eligible for any trades or cuts or anything like that. So because we did that, I'm going to go to the free agent pool in the last week of the regular season, and I'm going to sign somebody. Let's see. Was Ward a left end or a right end? I forgot. I think he's a right end. Excuse me. Sorry, burped a little bit. In your report. All right, so he was a right end. Okay, so let's go out and see what free agent right ends are available. Maybe we can find a guy who is actually solid, who just hasn't been picked up by anybody, who maybe we can look at being a possible future guy for next year, but I doubt it. Got a bunch of running backs available that are actually kind of solid, including Zach Moss, but we don't need a running back. Ibukum and Osai. All right. Well, Ibukum, we're bringing him in for the last game of the regular season, basically, just to be another, just to be an extra body out there. I don't know who. I think that makes our backup the starter. So we'll see how things look going into this last game of the season. The weekly awards. Do we have somebody win an award this week? I guess we did. So Nwosu had 8 tackles and 3 sacks in week 17. Alrighty then. I don't know how good of a year he's having, but based on the fact he's a 77 overall and he really hasn't progressed, like I said, I don't think there's really any room for us to. I don't really think I want to bring back any of these guys because Turner, we just can't afford him. He's too high of the price. And the rest of these guys, I just feel like are replaceable. A large number of these guys are backups. We do need to replace our kicker and punter this offseason, but there's always a good kicker and punter available anyway. We can always go get one. We don't need to draft one. We can just go get one. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to play the approach like that. And let's play our final game of the regular season. Let's take a look at the playoff picture before we play it, because I want to see. The 49ers and Cardinals have the same divisional record. They're both in the playoff picture. Obviously, we don't play any of them, so we can't impact anything there. But that's going to be a little bit interesting in terms of scenarios. One of them's going to have a record. Well, they both have the same record. Then I guess they're both in the postseason. So we'll see. But we'll take a look at the final playoff picture when we wrap up this final game of the regular season. I really want to win this game because I don't think I've won a game in this Seattle Seahawks rebuild in a little bit of in a hot minute, if you know what I mean. So I want to go out with a win against the New Orleans Saints at home. Do I want to put any special uniforms on? Let me see if I do. Current color rush. It's those old throwback ones. Now, let's just wear the regular home uniforms. Let's just go the all-navy. Going regular. All right. Saints, I think, are like 7-10 or 7-9 or something like that. So I think they're a team that's probably not going to the playoffs as well. But this is it for us. This is our last game of the regular season. I really want to see what this offense looks like with Jared Goff leading the charge, because from the looks of the scores that we've been putting up, because we have an offensive-minded head coach, I feel like our offense is pretty much in place. We just need to get some talent on this defense and get a new defensive coordinator, and then I think we can get things better on that side of the ball. And, you know, unfortunately, though, we're going to have to do it by letting our best corner and our starting free safety walk. But Diggs is regressing, so I think we can upgrade that. And Turner is driving up the price. I mean, he wants a massive, like, very, very player-friendly deal, probably like 5+ years. I don't want to commit to a guy for that long who we got in a trade by just wanting to get rid of our backup quarterback in order to, you know, make up for the fact that we had to trade our best corner to get our new starting quarterback. All right, anyway, we'll focus on that in a few minutes. Let's focus on the here and now. We're going to focus on getting this win against the New Orleans Saints in front of the 12th man. Glad we're playing this regular season finale at home. Because when we play in front of our home fans, we got extra juice. Walker, screen pass, big first down. That's the way we want to start out the football game. Good job. Obviously, with Jared Goff as the starter, he's an upgrade in terms of overall play. But I just kind of got to wonder, based on the fact that I thought he was going to be a part of the main solution this season, and we're outside looking in terms of the playoffs. But I want to give him one more year. I want to give him next year as well. I'm not ready to give up on the golf experiment just yet.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Maybe like the Jets rebuild, we have more years than I anticipated when I began.
They come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution.
Oh my! Are you serious, Goff? Pick it up, offensive lineman. Just okay. All right. Well, Goff or somebody got back on the football. Thank God. But God, Goff, come on, man! Don't fumble that football.
News on that play for them, wasn't there?
Hold on to that ball, Petey.
Lost a lot of yardage.
Seriously, Goff. But shout out to the offensive lineman. I think that was Nugent, the center, who got back on it. Nice job. Oh, good. We get a big completion to Jackson. Go, Smith. Almost went out of bounds, but he tiptoed on the sideline. He got a big first down for us. Nice job, especially after he got an 11-yard sack. That's how you respond. Good job, Goff. Way to shake it off. Not to quote Taylor Swift, but I just did. DK! Touchdown, Seahawks. Let's go. Beautiful pass. There we go, Goff. That's what we're looking for, man. All right, defense. 4th and 1. Saints got a new quarterback. I don't know who this is.
They appear to be going for it on 4th. They'll try and run for it.
Yeah, he got the first down, but he barely got it. I knew the run was coming. I was trying to send everybody to the house, but didn't do it.
So it's 3rd down.
All right, 3rd and 3.
The red zone, and this defense looking to get the stop they need.
Oh, bull rush. And he got a sack. Let's go. Who was that off the right end? Franklin Myers with the sack off the left end. Let's go. And we forced him to a field goal. Beautiful.
With a big-time sack on 3rd down, it's a loss of 7.
All right. Saints get the field goal. They trim the lead down to 4.
And they are on the board, but still trailing.
But we answered with the touchdown on the first drive, so that's the way I want to start out, but we got to keep this up.
2nd quarter, this defense looking for a big 3rd down stop here. They're already down on the scoreboard, just trying to get the ball back to their offense.
Come on, Hunter. Hunter Henry, first down grab. Way to keep the drive alive. Just what I wanted. Let's go, guys.
From the red zone now, Goff.
On DK. Open, first down. Oh, I thought he was going to break that tackle, but he got close. Oh, wait, did he score? Yes, he did. He barely got it, but he rolled in the end zone. DK Metcalf, 2nd touchdown catch of the game. Jared Goff playing well. That's the way we want to end the year. All right. Well, the Saints got on the scoreboard. Well, they got a touchdown.
Efficient here with their time late in the 2nd quarter. Goff on 1st down. Seriously? Timeout. Wow, I'm surprised that was not a safety. I thought he clearly brought me down in the end zone. And let's run the football. I don't want to risk throwing it and giving up a safety right before the half. The sack. It's 2nd and 18. Up the middle, here's Walker.
Get us out of
push forward here for a good little run.
The Saints called a timeout?
Continues to run. The Saints going to call the
okay, they called a timeout. It gave us a little bit of breathing room, so
37 seconds to play in this first half.
We're going to throw
backed up here. Tough spot.
Risky, but I'm going to throw it.
Yards to pick up the first.
Come on. Get that catch. Let's go. Timeout. There we go. We just need to get a little bit of breathing room. Found DK Metcalf for the first down.
So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head.
I'm just thinking field goal here. I just want a field goal. I want some score before the half.
Now it's gone.
DK, you're open, buddy. You're open.
Man open downfield. It's Metcalf.
I didn't think he got out of bounds, so I had to call a timeout.
Get it up past the 45. Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here.
I don't know why he didn't duck out of bounds right there. Now we got no timeout, so if we get a first down, we're just going to have to spike it and kick it.
Now gone.
And of course, I get hit. Ball flutters. It's a pick. Oh my goodness. No. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Charles, I'm looking.
Oh God. That's just terrible.
A big play coming
and
up.
Now we're playing from behind in the
down,
third.
But just by a bit on the scoreboard. Can they get this third down stop in the third quarter? They've gone to their fullback quite a bit.
All right, fourth down, kick the field goal.
Trying to keep those big legs.
Can we get an offensive?
Let's get back into the
action.
Our
offense is starting to sputter and not doing anything.
It's second down, and the defense needing
guys.
to step up. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
So now we're actually already on
88 yards rushing for him now as he has
stuff's
been
getting tight
all
now.
day long.
We give up another score.
For the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. He'll look to throw.
Okay, didn't quite get the sack before
and that one winds up incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it was.
Oh, almost got another sack. Defensive tackle is getting home.
As this will be incomplete.
That was our first round pick.
This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock.
Strong. Yeah, strong.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough.
Get home
Apparently they're
again,
saying no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
All right, went out of bounds, so they're going to kick a field goal. There's still a lot of time left, but next possession, we need 7. Hopefully they give us control of that.
Big spot right here. This to make it a 2-score game.
Okay, so they kick the field goal, and now we're down by 9 points.
And that will make this a 9-point lead.
Oh boy, I don't use this game. Okay, looks like our offense is driving pretty well. We only have 4.5 minutes left.
Time to see if this defense is up to the task.
I'm gonna not risk it. I'm gonna run it with Walker. 96 overall running back. Now I'm gonna actually go quickly because he won't let us.
It's a 3rd down situation in the 4th quarter. Time to see if this defense is up to the task. Throwing on 3rd. Goff. Flushed out right. And he'll go out of bounds.
Okay, he was short. He ducked out of bounds. We're going for this. No. We're going for it. Fullback dive. Let's go. Probably the only time all year we've given it off to the fullback. Okay, get the first. There we go. Okay. Now no huddle. No huddle. Trail. I want to score quickly.
Here's Goff.
Hunter Henry powers this way in for the touchdown. That's good. I wanted to score as quick as we could, so that way we're only down. Yeah, I didn't want to go to the field goal there, Coach. It's our last game of the year. We're going all in.
The Saints offense on the field,
we
ready to
need
get
one.
their
We need a
drive
defensive
started.
stop
And
here.
with that last touchdown, I mean, we're set up
First
for a
and
good
10.
finish here. Some things to consider, Charles. Obviously, it's a very close game.
Now we're not getting
Here in the
home.
fourth quarter. Defensively, they've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket.
So the chess match really ramps up, doesn't it? Because in these situations, what do? Do you run the ball and kill the clock here? Or do you try and bury them with another score? And how about defensively? Do you use your timeouts at earliest opportunity? Or wait till you hit the 2-minute warning?
Good tackle. Way to sniff out the screen. That's just what we needed. Okay, well, we're going to have the 2-minute warning already, so I'm not going to go.
Get to him quickly and get him down.
I'm not
for a loss.
chomping at the bit for a timeout just yet. All right, 2-minute warning. We're down by just 2 points. All we need is a field goal to win, but we need to get this ball back.
So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead.
Come on, we need to
Search
stop.
of 8
We
yards
need
here
to
as they hope
stop.
to convert the 1st down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. That's caught by Johnson.
God.
And now right out of the 2-minute break. We'll get the timeout.
It started with that interception we threw at the end of the half. It was a pick 6. That's what started the bad streak. That's what started all of this.
1st and 10. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll
bring him
instead
down.
run up the middle.
Timeout.
Now they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
I don't know how much time we're going to have left.
Another run on 2nd down, trying to cover up.
Oh my
He will have a Saints first down. It has been a struggle, but it's looking like that'll be the one to seal a victory for him.
It's over. We lost. Started with that freaking interception. That freaking pick
And
6.
they'll indeed take a knee.
Interceptions by our quarterbacks are the death of me.
2nd and 11 now.
So dumb.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory.
We're not going to have any time left. There's no way we're going to have any time left. We got no time. They're not going to give us any time.
The Saints in victory formation now as they'll take the knee.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right? Just us against the world and get it done.
Underwhelming season.
How happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something.
I don't know why I did that. I'm just so I'm just frustrated we lost, okay? I mean, it started with that freaking pick 6, which was, Goff got hit, ball flutters up, it's a pick 6. There, see, I got to be reminded of that.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity.
This team is struggling
and make that
so
miracle
much.
happen. A really good ending.
We got a ways to go.
Contest,
we got a ways to go to
so
complete this rebuild, guys. We're going backwards. Went backwards this season. Didn't make the playoffs, and we ended the regular season on a whimper. Once again, our quarterback throws an interception that didn't really decide the game, but it was the last time that we led in the game. We fought back. We had a chance, but we just didn't get it done. Now we got to lick our wounds and go into the offseason on a low note and try to figure out what we can do to make this team better. I hope there's some good free agents out there that can really help us out, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and advance through the playoffs. I'll just do a recap of the playoffs when we get to the final screen. Because we're going to get to staff week here pretty soon, and we're going to make some changes with our defensive coordinator. We're going to get rid of him, and we're going to bring in somebody else. We'll take a look at awards as well, see if any of our Seahawks made the Pro Bowl. I don't think so, but, we'll see. All right, let's check out the Pro Bowl roster. All right. Jackson Smith-Njigba made a Pro Bowl once again. Getting a big contract. Hey, you deserve it, man. You're fine. It's the rest of the team that needs help. All right, Cosme made the Pro Bowl, our right guard. That's encouraging, 89 overall guy. He was one of our big signings from the previous year. And Mayfie made it. Okay. And that is it. So we had our linebacker, our right guard, and Jackson Smith-Njigba made it. Okay, so that's it. Super Bowl 61, the Chiefs against the Cowboys. So let's recap the playoffs for 2026. So the Bills beat the Colts so wild card weekend. Bills beat the Colts, Bengals beat the Raiders, Texans beat the Chargers, Bills beat the Bengals, then the Chiefs beat the Texans, so it was Chiefs and the Bills in the AFC Championship game, another big playoff matchup, big one. And the Chiefs win, so Mahomes going back to the Super Bowl to face the Cowboys. Cowboys beat the Lions in an upset on Wild Card Week as the 7th seed. The Panthers upset the Commanders, and the 49ers beat the Falcons. So it was the 49ers taking down the Panthers, and the Cowboys beat the Bucks, and the Dallas Cowboys finally get their revenge on the 49ers. They beat them 24-17. So the Cowboys are in the Super Bowl taking on the Chiefs. Let's go Cowboys. Y'all know they're my favorite team. All right, so let's go ahead and advance, and let's see what happens in the Super Bowl. Let's see if it's either Dallas or Kansas City who wins the Super Bowl. What a matchup. And... oh, okay, so it hasn't happened yet. That was just Pro Bowl week. Okay, anticlimactic, I know. Let's check yearly awards. Let's see if any Seahawks were in the running. Joe Burrow was MVP. Coach of the Year is Zach Taylor. Okay, NFC. Offensive Player of the Year. Jackson Smith-Njigba came in 3rd for Offensive Player of the Year. Wow, so we got something brewing with that. NFC Defensive Player of the Year. No Seahawks there. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, excuse me. Nobody. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jahad Campbell finished 2nd. Okay, so that's encouraging. Our young guy, although he ended the season with a pretty bad injury, so hopefully he'll be healthy enough for next season, but we will see. Best QB. No sign of Goff. Best running back. No sign of Walker either. Best receiver, Smith-Njigba finished 3rd. No love for DK Metcalf. Best offensive lineman, Sam Cosme finished 5th. Best defensive lineman, nobody. Best linebacker, Boy Mayfie finished 7th. Best DB, Jamal Adams finished 6th. DJ Turner 7th. Okay. Best kicker, no sign of Myers. Or did I miss him? No, he wasn't in there. All right. So Jackson Smith-Njigba was 3rd in the running for Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC. That's a little bit encouraging. Definitely was worth the contract. All right, well, let's see who wins the Super Bowl. Let's get to staff week, and we're going to make some changes with our defensive coordinator. I want to get to that, and I want to get to doing some changes this offseason because changes are coming to the staff. Offseason of change. And it looks like the Chiefs beat the Cowboys to win their 4th Super Bowl. So they won 4 championships now. Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson was Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year was Max Crosby of the Raiders. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Caleb Brown, wide receiver for the Saints. And Sean Murphy, middle linebacker for the Falcons, was Defensive Rookie of the Year. MVP, Mahomes. All right, and that's the way it is. And that's the Super Bowl for the 2026 season of this rebuild. Let's go ahead and upgrade our one player, probably a practice squad guy. So it is staff week. So manage staff. It's time to get this defense right. See you later, Scott Jackson. We are in the market for a new defensive coordinator, and that's what we are going to do. So Phil Staff, let's go ahead and take a look at what defensive coordinators are out here. hire defensive coordinator. So there's some head coaches out here. Are any of them actual legitimate ones, like real coaches, not fake guys? So Mike Tomlin. You know what? We're going a little bit ham. We're going to hire Mike Tomlin as our defensive coordinator. We're going to bring in some of that, you know, Steeler mentality. He's got 68 points to spend, so we're going to spend points on Mike Tomlin. That's our new defensive coordinator. All right, spending all these points here. All right, we got 4 more left. So that's where we're leaving it right now. So Mike Tomlin, welcome to Seattle as our new defensive coordinator. Basically getting another head coach in here who has a little bit of defensive mind, I think is definitely going to help us out. Mike Tomlin, new defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Bringing in a former head coach to be our defensive coordinator. I think that will pay off. Okay then, all righty. So let's go ahead and advance to the re-sign period, and we're going to get free agency going. And I don't know really what this draft is going to have, because then again, we're going to have randomly generated players. So we'll see who we have. First things first, let's check retirements. Do we have anybody? Well, Jason Myers did retire, so I'm kind of glad I wasn't offering him a new contract because he was going to retire anyway. Oh, whoops. Seahawks. So Jason Myers was our only retirement. So fortunately, he's the only person we really have to replace. Well, we were going to replace him anyway because we're in the market for a new kicker and punter. So Jason Myers, thank you for everything you've done. Enjoy your retirement. So this is the last chance we can negotiate with all these players. Let me take one more final look, and let me see if I want to do anything. We have $147 million. Okay, so you know what? DJ Turner, we're going to franchise tag him. How much of this is going to eat up? Okay, so that didn't eat up as much as I expected. So we franchise tagged DJ Turner just to possibly keep him here so we have our starting corner. And we also have a new defensive coordinator in Mike Tomlin. So maybe that will encourage some of these guys to stick around, but we will see. But everybody else, you guys can roll out of here. And we're going to get some upgrades this offseason on defense. Defensive line, I think, is really what we need to go after. I think offensively, we don't really need to mess with anything too much. We just need to get this defense looking better. We're already going towards that with hiring Mike Tomlin as our new defensive coordinator. But now we need to get, we just need to get, some talent back in here. Okay, so, you know what? Before I do that, I need to, check and see what other positions we need to look at upgrading to an extent. I'm going to take a look at offense one more time just to make sure. Okay, so offensively, I feel like we're pretty good. And Goff has dipped already to a 79, so that's not very encouraging. Running back spot, we're good. We're good at fullback too because we drafted that guy last year. He's up to 73. We could use another good receiver to take the pressure off of Metcalf and Jackson Smith-Njigba. We need probably another backup tight end. Offensive line, we could use an up. Maybe right tackle. Maybe that was it. And defensive ends, yeah, Campbell is still hurt, so we definitely need to bring in some veteran presence there because who knows if the guy's going to be ready by the time training camp is ready to go. And defensive tackle, if there's somebody in the 80s out there, we're going to go get him. And right outside linebacker, we need to get a new one. Corners, we need help. We need help here. Free safety, we need a new one of those because we let Diggs walk, and we need a backup strong safety. We need a new kicker and a new punter. All right, so here we go. It's probably one of the biggest off seasons we've had since probably the first year, but y'all can determine that between yourselves. Alrighty then, so let's see who's out here. Wow. But I want to go after guys who are actually interested in coming here, because I don't want to waste my time with guys who are, even if they fit our scheme, like are interested in coming, but it's going to cost us an arm and a leg to go get them. I'm not going to be, really wasting my time with that. All right, we need defensive end help, and there's really nobody super good out here. John Franklin Myers, we may just have to mess around and bring him back. Cam Sample, it may be the draft where we have to look for this stuff. Defensive tackle. There's nobody really better than Hill out here. Leonard Williams is somebody I signed in my Steelers rebuild, so we're going to bring him in here to Seattle. Because we need a new, right defensive end help. We need help there. Right outside linebacker, we can't skip out on that. So TJ Edwards is not a scheme fit guy. Let's see where this initial offer puts us. Does it put us in the running for him? Because we have money to spend, so I'm going to spend it. Okay, so we're second behind the Chargers, so we may have to sweeten the deal just a little bit. So you know what? I'm not going to take a risk. I'm not going to risk losing my players. So I'm going to increase this. 6 million. It's going to take up a little bit more. It still puts us second in the running. Joey Porter is the top guy available at corner. Eric Stokes. We need corner help, and he's a scheme fit guy, 80 overall. Bringing him in on a 1-year deal. I think this is worth it. Is anybody else offering Stokes? No. Okay, so in the case of nobody offering Stokes, we're going to go with a player with a team-friendly option. We're going to do this instead and try to cut, save some money a little bit if nobody's really going after him. So that way we have money to spend elsewhere. Ifetua Meliflo. No idea how to pronounce that name. But we need a new free safety, so we're going to go after him. I know it's not too much of an upgrade from Diggs, but scheme fit guy, probably worth it. And we're at 4 out of 5. Who are some of the top guys that maybe we feel like could be an instant upgrade? I mean, we could use. Middle linebacker is not really a position that we need to upgrade necessarily, but it is tempting. Let's check on the offensive line. Let's see who's out here for offensive linemen. Centers, nah. What about right tackles? No real improvement there. We're going to bring in Cam Sample because we need defensive end help. Is anybody else clawing for him or no? Okay, in that case, we're going to lower this offer. Team-friendly deal. Let's see if we can get him on a 1-year deal for the cheap. Could go get John Franklin Myers again, but we're just going to get Sample. Is he a downgrade? Yeah, but maybe defensive end is where we have to just go in the draft. All right, so these are our targets for free agency. Not a whole lot of talent out there. I mean, there is, but it's talent that we don't necessarily need. But the guy we're going after is TJ Edwards. And you know what? I'm not going to, risk losing him. We're going with a player. We're going to up this offer a little bit because, we're cutting money elsewhere with negotiations. So we're going to go up a little bit with Edwards. Because we need, linebacker. We need a new right outside linebacker. Now, Edwards is not a scheme fit guy, but an 84 overall right outside linebacker is hard to pass up hitting free agency. And we're also offering Eric Stokes to get corner help, Leonard Williams to get our new right defensive end, only for 1 year though, and Ifetua Meliflo, new free safety, and Cam Sample is a new left end. So we're getting some defense. So we're going basically all defense in the first wave of free agency. But I think that's what we have to do. Hopefully, with us bumping up our offer for Edwards, he'll sign. no team comes in there with a better offer, because we got money to spend this offseason. I think we still have like $93 million to spend or something like that. So we got a lot of cap room to spend money. All right. Let's see. Did we get anybody? Sure, we got some guys. We got TJ Edwards. Let's go. And we got Leonard, and we got Melifuto. So we got a new free safety, and we got a new right outside linebacker, and our new right end. So we're still in negotiations with Stokes. Some teams have come in and want Stokes. Okay. And Cam Sample as well. Okay. And I guess I think this was it, right? Yeah, this is the only other guys we targeted. You know, Eric Stokes, if some team wants him for more, they can have him, because we're looking at him as really just extra corner for help. So I think we're okay with dealing without him. Now Cam Sample, though, you know, let's take a look at other defensive ends. See if maybe other than Cam Sample, if there's anybody left who we could look at as well. Ooh, I didn't even notice DeMarcus Lawrence was available. Not a scheme fit guy, but it looks like D-Law is on maybe the last leg of his career. Let's see if we can get him in here on a one-year deal. Is anybody else clamoring for him? No. Okay, but I'm going with the neutral deal. I don't want to lowball him and risk losing him. So we're going to target him because Sample, it looks like, has got a better offer from Jacksonville. I don't blame him. We're going after D-Law. He's better anyway. The only thing is that Cam is a scheme fit. D-Law is not. But still, I think that is worth doing. Okay, so let's take a look at, because we need some backup players. So yeah, I think we need a backup strong safety as well. So Taylor Rapp is still there, but we're going to bring him back. We're going to go get Deshaun Elliott. Bring him in on a one-year deal to be a backup for Jamal Adams, just to get some depth here at strong safety, because he looks like because he's a solid veteran. And we're his best offer. The Chiefs are the only other team clamoring for him, so yeah. All right, let's take care of special teams. Let's get Jake Elliott in here, former Eagles kicker. One-year deal, I know, but we can always get new kickers in the following offseason, and we need a new punter as well. We're going to go look at Logan Cookie. He's interested in coming here, so probably won't have to offer too much to get him to come here. All right. Now, as far as receivers, we could use some extra help here. And you know what? Let's get Cole Hardman Jr. in here, get some help at receiver. 3-year deal might be a little bit too much to invest in this guy, but, he's bounced around, and we got money to spend, so let's spend it. Could use a third tight end. Darnell Washington looks pretty solid. Get some depth at tight end. Get a young guy. We're his only offer. Okay, since we're his only offer, let's lower this a little bit with Washington. Because we're bringing him in to be a backup, and he knows that. Hunter Henry is our starter. All right, let me take a look at the offensive line and see if we need to get any depth on the O-line at any position, because that's something that I always try to do, at least in free agency, if we have the money to spend. So that way, if we miss a position in the draft, we're not screwed with having to adjust a bunch of players and everything like that. Okay, so left tackle we're good. Left guard we need a backup there. Center we need a backup. Okay, so we need a backup center. And we need a backup left guard. Okay, so let's do that for the last couple of negotiations we're doing during this free agency period number 2. Let's get it. Left guard, center. Let's get a backup left guard and a center. And we can still negotiate with 2 more guys. All right, let's do that. Left guard. Left guards. Anybody decent out here? Well, Kendrick Green, of course, is out there. But you know what? Let's go after Matt Hennessy. Bring him him in on a 1-year deal. Get some backup. We're his only offer. If we are, we'll lower this. Yep, we are. Okay, so Matt, we're gonna lowball you, just because we're trying to save money elsewhere in certain ways, you know. So we're gonna do that. Bring him in on a 1-year deal. Get some backup offensive linemen. Oh, even at a lower number, we're still good. All right, center. Garrett Bradbury. All right, we're gonna bring him in on a 1-year deal as well. We're going to lower this offer just a little bit since nobody else is offering him really anything. Okay, so we're still good. All right, 10 out of 10. So we're still targeting some guys from the first wave, but the good thing is we got the big guys that we wanted, especially Edwards. So Jake Elliott, Mecole Hardman Jr., Logan Cook, Eric Stokes we're still targeting, but more than likely we're going to lose him. I'm okay with that. For the last wave, we'll still look at corners and see if we can get anybody else. DeMarcus Lawrence, Deshaun Elliott, bringing him in to be a backup. Garrett Bradbury, Darnell Washington, tight end. Cam Sample we're still targeting, but we're targeting Lawrence because we feel like he's not going to sign. And Matt Hennessy we're targeting as well, left guard. Alrighty then, so that's the second wave of free agency. Let's go ahead and advance and see what happens if we get anybody. Well, I'm sure we'll get a lot of those guys, but the guys that I really want, you know, we'll see. And then we'll kind of take a look at just the roster, so that way in the draft maybe we can kind of, you know, be a little bit flexible with who we can go with. All right, so let's see. This is the final wave of free agency. Let's see if we got anybody. So let's see who we have. So we're still targeting Bradbury. The Colts have come in with an offer, but we still have the better offer than them. And Darnell Washington is still negotiating with us. So who did we get? Okay, so we got Elliott to be our new kicker. We got Hardman. We got Cook. We did get DeMarcus Lawrence. Already had Leonard Williams, and of course we had him. We got Deshaun Elliott, and we got Matt Hennessy. So those other two guys who came in with better offers from other teams, they signed elsewhere. But getting DeMarcus Lawrence, veteran in there, only a 1-year deal, but he's on the kind of the back end of his career at this point. You know, he's not looking for a pretty big payday. He has regressed, but I think we can still look at defensive end in the draft for sure. I think that's definitely one of the positions we can look at in the first round to really get some upgrades there. At least on the left side. The right side I like with the rookie in there, but you know, I just want to get some veteran presence over there to help, you know, to help him out a little bit, take some of the pressure off, because I think that'll be beneficial to him. But we got some talent on defense now. We've upgraded there. All right. Well, Mecole Hardman is wearing number 4 right now. That's okay. I don't think number 17. No, number 17 is available. That's worn by our defensive end we drafted a few years back. So he can keep wearing number 4. Tight end. We didn't get an extra tight end, but we can probably just worry about that in the draft. Matt Hennessy, of course, backing up Bradford. Oh, center. But I think we're still negotiating with centers. So DeMarcus Lawrence becomes our starter, 81 overall. McGregor, who really hasn't developed, a little bit disappointed he really hasn't developed more, but it's what it is. You know, Leonard Williams, obviously I like the fact that Jahad Campbell was in a running for Defensive Rookie of the Year at 76 overall, but he's injured, and we need to get some veteran presence in there to help us out. So our defensive line is looking better. It's older. I mean, we got a 13-year veteran and a 12-year veteran. They are in the low 80s, but they're upgrades compared to what we used to have. And I know Lawrence is not a scheme fit guy, but I do think that it will definitely help out. Linebacker, we could still use backup middle linebacker for sure. TJ Edwards is the only big free agent we got as far as right outside linebacker, but we needed some upgrades there. Can we give him a number in the 50s? Yeah, I think he did wear 57. He was with the Eagles, so we'll give him 57. Corners. Turner, Pritchett, yeah. Ify, 2. I don't know much about him. Okay, well, he wears number 6. Just like Diggs. Can we give him number 6? Or is it already worn by somebody? Yeah. Cool. All right. Solid. Sean Elliott, he can stay rocking 22. Jake Elliott, though, has to wear a different number. Can't wear number 12 because that's for the fans. So let's see if we can give him a different. Let's give him a different number. Now let's give him number 7. And Cook can keep number 10. So going into the draft, after we really seriously, we could use, I think we need to find a tight end in the draft, somebody that isn't going to be a starter, but just somebody that can help for depth. And maybe a backup center. We need, backup center. If there's a better, could use some more depth on the defensive line. Middle linebacker depth, sure. Corner, yeah. But I think defensive end is still maybe where we have to go, even though we got veterans that we signed this offseason. I still feel like that we need to look at that, still need to do that. So let me actually go back to free agency because I feel like we're still in negotiations with with a couple of players. Am I wrong? Let's see. Yeah, we're still negotiating with Bradbury as another center and Darnell Washington. I forgot about these guys. We're still in the last wave of free agency. Okay, so you know what? Let me actually go just to make sure that we kind of leave no stones unturned, if you will. So we're not looking for... Let's get a backup middle linebacker, see who's still out here. All the top guys, of course, are gone, but we're looking for somebody to be a backup anyway. Oh, Diablo's gone too. But Derek Barnes isn't. Bring him in to be a backup. 3-year deal. It's maybe a little bit too much to invest in a backup guy, but I think it might be worth it. All right, well, where's the only offer, so we're going to lower this. Only a 2-year deal now. So where does that put us with him? Okay, still only offer. All right, got it. Nah. Sorry, random text message. Okay, we didn't target, no, okay. You know what? I still want to go out and maybe get another corner. Get help. Clark Phillips III. 2-year deal. You take that. It's unlimited negotiations now, so we can just pick up, who we couldn't get. Saints have a better offer. Okay. I guess it's just not in the cards for us to get upgrades at corner this offseason. Okay. Well, final target wave of free agency. We're not going to go any farther than this. So, Clark Phillips III, Bradbury was still negotiating with, Derek Barnes, middle linebacker backup, and Darnell Washington. Let's see who we get. I don't know if some of these guys we may not get, some of them we may, but we'll see how things look. And then we'll take a look at the draft to see what they have us projected to do now based on what we've done in free agency. Because things, of course, change once we get through free agency based on what they think we should do in the draft. What the analysts believe. All right, let's view free agency recap. Let's see what we got. All right, so We were able to get Bradbury. We did get Derek Barnes. We got Washington, and we got, okay. So we didn't get that corner, but hey, that's fine. We can look for another corner for depth in the draft. But so far, solid outing for free agency, if you ask me. So I like the look of that. All right. So private workouts, still using his staff. All right, mock draft 5. Let's see what the draft is projected to do, because obviously these are, randomly generated players. Titans have the number 1 pick, Jordan Elliott, South Alabama quarterback, first projected pick. Okay, so I imagine we're kind of in the middle of the pack in terms of record. Oh, what am I thinking? We don't have a first-round pick. I forgot we don't have a first-round pick because we traded that away to get Jared Goff. It's down to 79 overall. Well, we're just going to wing this draft. We're just going to see what we can do. Part of me thinks I might ruin the future by doing the Jared Goff trade. But hopefully that doesn't prove to be the case. I'm just praying that it doesn't. So we won't have a pick until the second round because we don't have a first-round pick this year due to the trade. But I think this is an off-season where we're not going to worry about making a bunch of crazy trades like we were last season to upgrade. We just decided to utilize free agency this offseason, and now we're going into the draft. Second round. All right. Let's see who's even out here that's any good. All right. I might just go BPA. This defensive, Christian Melton, defensive end, looks pretty good. But you know what? I think we need to get this. Yeah. David Saxton, defensive tackle out of Clemson. I don't know if he'll be as good as B.J. Hill right now in his first year, but you know what? We need to get, better on defense all around. We've spent this offseason upgrading our defense from the defensive coordinator to making decisions on getting some veterans in here on the defensive line. Hopefully we can get a good mix of young and old in order to make this defense decent. Because last year I think it was our Achilles heel for the most part. We need some... We could use extra help at receiver, so let's go after Mello Turner, wide receiver from Texas. Get him.
Next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock.
Kind of going mostly just BPA. Fourth round selection. Got a lot of receivers that are still available. Andrew McAdoo, right tackle out of Wisconsin. Let's get some depth behind our starter.
Now
the new guy.
Seattle Seahawks are on the clock.
Yeah, definitely need to get some help there. Alrighty. So the defensive tackle that's here. But this right guard, Luke Slay, looks pretty solid. Let's go after him. Hopefully with a last name like that. Any relation to Darius Slay? I don't know. It's Darius Slay's lost brother. Alright, here we are in the 6th round. Don't have a lot of picks left in this draft, obviously. This strong safety, Marcus Grimes, actually looks pretty good. Let's go after him out of Wyoming. I know that we have a good one in Jamal Adams, but we could use, depth behind him. And I think for the 7th round pick, just to kind of be a little bit, I guess, maybe we'll take a skill position guy here. Joe Smith could take a running back. What about quarterbacks? Improviser. Bobby Murray out of Virginia. We're going to go with him as our 7th round selection. Take a quarterback. Nothing wrong with stacking up extra quarterbacks because you never know. Although that Timmy Nix guy that we have, he hasn't progressed at all, so I don't expect anything out of Murray. But, it is what it is. So not a whole lot of spectacular stuff in this draft, although our 2nd round pick could be somebody who contributes at least a little bit. So we've got trade offers here. I'll take a look at that in just a minute, but first let me take a look at the draft recap. So we didn't have a 1st round pick as a result of the Jared Goff trade. So our first pick in the draft in the second round. David Saxon, defensive tackle out of Clemson. We do have B.J. Hill, but it might be good to get some youth behind him in case we just don't want to have Hill here because we only have him back on a one-year deal, I believe. Mello Turner, receiver out of Texas, third-round selection. Andrew McAdoo, I guess. I don't know. Right tackle out of Wisconsin. We need some depth on the offensive line. Same thing with Luke Slay, right guard out of Central Michigan. Marcus Grimes, strong safety out of Wyoming, was our sixth-round selection. Our seventh-round pick was Bobby Murray, quarterback out of Virginia Tech. So not a spectacular draft. Not a whole lot of, big-time guys, but, we'll see. So we have trade offers for Bradbury, who's our backup center. So let's see what these offers are. Wow, okay, so they're offering us receiver help in both of these. Dobbs is not that bad. We could use some corner help. And Baylor Cupp, 60 overall tight end, you can develop. This is pretty tempting. I know Xavier Worthy is a pretty good guy too, but let's go with this one from the Packers. Gonna get a receiver, we can get a corner for health, and we can get a tight end who's gonna be our third stringer. Yeah, I think that's good. Trade accepted. Awesome. Alright, so let's adjust our roster. We'll kind of do some of the college numbers. Well, not really the college number stuff because these guys aren't real. So, got a bunch of stat quarterbacks basically. So, yeah, Bobby Murray. So Romeo Dobbs becomes our third best receiver, 85 overall. That is not bad at all. And we already had Hardman Jr. coming in here. So I like that. It definitely helps our receiving core, but something tells me that Dobbs is probably on the last year of his contract anyway. Yeah, he is on the last year. So no wonder the Packers are trying to dump him. But, all we had to do was give up our center. We didn't have to give up a pick or anything. And they gave us Dobbs and, got a stacked receiver room now. And Baylor Cupp, former Red Raider, our fourth string tight end. Because we got Darnell Washington, as a backup as well. So I think as far as our roster is concerned, I think we may have to kick one of these right guards to center. Let's go ahead and put Matthew Jones as a center. Kind of sucks that we signed Bradbury just to trade him, but that was a very tempting trade by the Packers because they gave us 3 players. We needed corner help a little bit. We got a receiver to help out in the room as well. And, I think that's pretty solid. We're starting to get more depth for our offensive line, and I'm just thinking about the future in terms of that. That's why I'm kind of stacking up some guys. Hopefully B.J. Hill hopefully he's going to be okay for, this year. Just worry about that a little bit. So Jahad Campbell is no longer injured. It looks like they took away the medical sign from his name. So it looks like Campbell will be ready to go for the start of the preseason, which is good. Because I got high hopes on him, but that's why we brought in Leonard Williams. We need veteran presence in there as well, but also, we weren't sure. Rick Barnes, 77, TJ Edwards. So our linebacking core is looking better. Our defense has been upgraded. We've gotten upgrades defensively to a certain extent. Can do skill point upgrade. Let's go slot here. Alright. Gotta edit his number, though. We can't have Max Melton be wearing number 12. I think this guy we drafted in the Steelers rebuild, if I recall. So, yeah, Melton, we're going to have him wear 15, because I think that's close to 16 what he wore in college. That is the same guy, right, Max Melton? Sorry, guys, I had to look at that message. Okay, well, don't worry. This live stream is going to be wrapped up pretty soon anyway. I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon. Okay. Upgrade there, and upgrade there. Okay, so we're good to go. All right, guys. So I'm going to try to wrap up this live stream really quickly before my internet cuts out because it looks like there's been some internet problems during this. So I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. Obviously, you know, we had a big offseason, new defensive coordinator, upgrades on defense. I will see you guys in part 5 of the Seattle Seahawks rebuild for 2027. This is one of the longest rebuilds I've done, and we'll see how it goes. So until then, this is your boy Malin. Have a good day, and I'm out. See you guys later.